Hi, I'm Dr. Dave Janda. Welcome back to Operation Freedom Briefings. The goal of these briefings and my weekly radio show, Operation Freedom, is to provide you information the bought-off lamestream fake media will never provide. DaveJanda.com is our website. We have a public side with a tremendous amount of free content, but we also have a subscription service where we provide extra shows, extra content that the bought-off lamestream fake media will never provide. You can stream my Sunday show, Operation Freedom, at DaveJanda.com every Sunday from 2 to 5 Eastern. I hope you'll join us for the radio show and also on our subscription service, 30 cents a day. You're paying $150 a month for cable, 30 cents a day for information that's not propaganda, that's not bought and paid for by the bought-off lamestream, if you will, fake media owned by the globalists. You know, today I want to discuss the war, the deep state war against Donald Trump. Now look, this all started with, if you will, getting Hillary through the primary. It then went to trying to, if you will, throw the election to Hillary in the presidential general election. I believe there's information, as I understand it from my contacts, that's going to come out in March that is going to, if you will, shed a new light on the popular vote, about the voter fraud that occurred in the general election to benefit Hillary Clinton. You see, the deep state needed to get Hillary in to cover up much of this information that we now see seeping out from the Department of Justice and FBI. None of that would have come to anyone's knowledge if Hillary had become president. It all would have been shoved under the rug, just as multiple other issues had been shoved under the rug under George Bush I, Bill Clinton, George Bush II, Barack Obama. They're all the same. They're all puppets of the criminal globalist system, owned and operated, as was Hillary Clinton. But Trump might have ties to the globalists, but he obviously doesn't play in the globalist sandbox because they declared war against him. Look, once he made it through the election, remember that whole Jill Stein caper of trying to overthrow the election? That failed. That was a deep state operation. And then when that didn't fail, what did they latch on to? The whole Russian fake narrative. Now, many people believed, even progressives here in the People's Republic of Ann Arbor, Michigan, that, well, the primary wasn't rigged. Well, then this came out today on Zero Hedge. I know you're not going to see it on CBS, NBC, MSNBC, you name it, CNN. This is Zero Hedge. Lawyers for the DNC argue that the primary rigging for Hillary Clinton was protected by the First Amendment. Ooh. I know, this is not something out of The Onion. They really did this. Here. The ongoing litigation of the DNC fraud lawsuit and the appeal regarding its dismissal took a stunning turn yesterday. The defendants in the case, including the Democratic National Committee and former DNC chairwoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz, filed a response brief that left many observers of the case at a loss for words. What was that? The document appears to argue that if the Democrat Party did cheat Sanders in the 2016 presidential primary race, then that action was protected under the First Amendment. Come on. I mean, let's face it. The DNC emails that were leaked, the Podesta emails that were leaked, it's been proven. And go to our Insider Insight show. Bill Binney, NSA whistleblower of the nth degree, said on our show, they weren't hacked. They were leaked. They were leaked by somebody inside the DNC, probably a guy by the name of Seth Rich, because according to Bill, there's information that links Seth Rich to Julian Assange and the transfer of that information. You see, the globalists declared war against Trump, and I believe Trump declared war against the globalists initially in his inauguration speech, but then again in his latest State of the Union address. And here's what piqued my interest in his State of the Union address. Here's what he said, quote, "My duty and the sacred duty of every elected official in this chamber is to defend Americans, to protect their safety, their families, their communities, and their right to the American dream." because Americans are dreamers too. You see, the deep state declared war on Bernie Sanders. Now they're even admitting it so they could get Hillary through the primary. And then they tried voter fraud to get Hillary through the general, and that didn't work. So then, when that didn't work, they instituted the Jill Stein operation to try to overturn the election results. Well, that didn't work. And then they latched on to the fake Russian narrative, which has blown apart. They weaponized the Department of Justice and the FBI to also declare war on Trump and take him and his team out. A critical member of his team was General Michael Flynn, who I believe was innocent. In fact, Comey and folks in the FBI had stated that Flynn had not lied. Yet, how could they prosecute him for lying then through Mueller? When the FBI interviews someone, everyone, they record that interview on a form called the 302 form. It's my understanding from my sources in Washington that the interview that Flynn conducted with that dude Strazek, who also cleared Hillary, who also was having that affair with Lisa Page and the FBI and all those little texts going back and forth, how they were so anti-Trump, obviously not an impartial observer of the facts. Strazek interviewed Flynn. I believe the way they could get Flynn on a guilty charge of lying is because they changed his 302 forms from what he said. They were changed by Strazek, probably at the behest of McCabe, as I understand it. Yeah, you better believe that's an illegal act. And it's all starting to fall apart. Because, you see, they had to take out Flynn because Flynn had declared war against the deep state several years before the Trump election. Remember, General Flynn was not only a warrior, but he was the head of the Defense Intelligence Agency. And several years ago, General Flynn leaked that in the Obama administration, that the United States and our allies, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, United Arab Emirates, and Israel, just to name a couple, had funded, weaponized, trained a group of individuals to take out the Assad regime, and that group of individuals had a name. ISIS. That's right. That's right. You want to know who ISIS is? You want to know who helped create them? The Obama administration needs to look in a mirror. And Flynn blew the whistle on it, and that's why the deep state had to get rid of him first. And then this just came out. In an unexpected twist, judge in Flynn case asked Mueller for exculpatory evidence. In other words, evidence that would benefit Flynn, because it's obvious that the judge has very similar sources that I have. And that is that the 302 forms were changed. From Zero Hedge, not I know, NBC, Why would he want the judge that after General Flynn had already pleaded guilty, that it is unheard of? The judge must suspect a defect in the guilty plea. The federal judge assigned to the criminal case against Trump's former national security advisor, Michael Flynn, has ordered special counsel Robert Mueller to turn over any exculpatory evidence to Flynn's defense team. And that exculpatory evidence are the 302 forms that were changed. Mark my words. General Flynn is an innocent man. He was persecuted. This is not reminiscent of a democratic republic. It is reminiscent of a third world country, a banana republic. And that's exactly what the Obama administration did to the Department of Justice and the FBI. And yeah, it probably happened before that with Bush 2 and Clinton and Bush 1. They're all globalist puppets. And one way to persecute the opposition, the honest opposition that focused on the Constitution and the rights and the freedoms and the liberties of every American, is to weaponize the Department of Justice and the FBI. And that's exactly what the globalists did. And it's all fallen apart. And you will not get that on the bought-off lamestream fake media that you're spending $150 a month for your cable bill on. I hope you'll join us on our radio show Operation Freedom. I hope you'll join us on both the public side of DaveJanda.com as well as the subscription side. It's 30 cents a day. Sign up for a month, $9. It's less than my best deal on earth, that being a Costco pizza. If you don't like it, can it. But I can tell you the information you get, the information we provide, our archives of our Insider Insight shows with such greats as Bill Binney and John Perkins, the economic hitman, our 7 years of archives on the Operation Freedom Show that you have access to, you will never touch that information for years, for maybe decades, maybe never in the bought-off lamestream fake media. As we end every segment, dream big and dare to fail.